Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the NASTL. We're going to go into game number 2. Be sure to tweet your predictions to us at Twitter. You can win an NASL shirt, a t-shirt. Also tweet at FXO USA. You can win a signed autographed monitor from NASL Season 2, so definitely check that out. Again, FXO USA. Let's go ahead and jump to game 2 between FXO and Quantic. So we have Antigua Shipyard in the top right-hand corner. We do have FXO Gumiho. Bottom left-hand corner, we have Theogonus. And, you know, again, I would say that Gumiho is considered the favorite going into this match.
Oh yes, he definitely is, especially with his Terran versus Terran performance that we've seen lately. In Code S, he had to face none other than MVP. He had to face him 2 times when he came down the group stages, and Gumiho was able to win 2 best-of-3s against MVP. So his Terran versus Terran is looking really, really good right now. And on the other hand, we have the Theogonus with a horrible record in Terran versus Terran. He only has 18% win ratio, 2 wins, 9 losses, and that's not something that works in his favor. No,
definitely not too good for Theogonus. Not looking good in this particular matchup, but we'll see. I mean, as we said, best of ones. There's a lot that can happen, and you know, Theogonus, I'm not gonna lie, he has shown room to actually you know, have a pretty wide range, and I don't think that's necessarily his style. I've known Theogonus for quite a long time from the StarCraft 1 days, and he did cheese Liquid Ret last time we saw. And it was kind of weird because I wasn't really used to seeing him cheese all that much with the, you know, I don't have a ton of games with him, don't get me wrong, but I have seen replays of him quite a bit. And it's just interesting. I don't know if this is just his inexperience in these high-level matches, or, you know, or this is the style that he was going for. I hope he has a lot more confidence going into this game, because he definitely has the capacity to take out these high-level players.
The thing is that Terran vs. Terran is probably the matchup that is the most refined. We've talked a little bit about it when we were casting. I actually don't know, but the last clan we were casting a couple of TVTs, and we talked a little bit about that. Usually in a Terran vs. Terran, the better player comes up ahead. I think that in this matchup, Gumiho is definitely the better player. But you mentioned it is a best of 1, and in a best of 1, everything can happen. You make one small mistake, get behind, and then you won't be able to recover from it. So losing one map is actually something that can happen really, really fast, and the Theogonus might just be able to pull off a win. He certainly, as he already said, has the capacities. Gumiho is definitely the favorite player, but in a best of 1, we can definitely see the Theogonus just taking the game, and therefore a point for Quantic Gaming.
Yep. Well, hopefully he gets it done. Right now, Theogonus is going for what looks to be a Banshee type of opening. He's gotten a quick 2 gas, and the way this factory is positioned right now, it does lead itself towards that starport and the Banshee. There it goes down. In the other corner, we have Gumiho going for a Reaper expand, followed up with very vast stim timing. So he will have stim combat shields out very soon. His economy won't be too thriving just yet, but he's going to work on it, obviously, and when he does hit that mark where he starts materializing off of his base and his opponent isn't really getting anything, that's where he's really going to shine. It's going to come down to if that Banshee can do enough damage, though.
Yeah, you're so right about it. The Banshee will be key. Ooh. And whoa, the Reaper gets picked off immediately. Couldn't scout anything at all. That's actually horrible for Gumiho. He doesn't have any scouting information. So at this point in time, he doesn't even know if his opponent is just... Well, he knows about 1 gas. That's all he knows right now. He saw one of the refineries. But he can't be quite sure what's happening in the main base of the Theogonus right now. I expect to see... Yeah, there it is. The engineering bay, in order to be just super safe against potential Banshee play.
One thing nice about going up against some sort of Reaper type of build, and Theogonus, just going to make sure he only knows that it is some sort of Reaper build. He doesn't know if it's Reaper Expand or Reaper Tech, but both of which have a very, very critical timing where they don't have stim, and they've been, you know, producing. They got the Tech Lab, and then they got the Reaper, so they haven't been getting Marines. So this is the perfect timing for actually for Theogonus to push in here. He's picking off 2 SCVs in the front over here, and now 4 or 5 Marines will just barrel down the ramp, just trying to push out those Marines as fast as possible. I like that type of push out It looks like Gumiho will spot this one Banshee, though, and how will he react? That's the big question. How many turrets does he throw down?
So far he has only one, but with Stim ready and Stim just finished and Combat Shield is lined up, we have obviously the option for Gumiho to just scan one Stim in and take out the Banshee. He has to make sure that he gets the Banshee with the first Stim though. You don't want to overstim when you have no medivacs around, and especially when you don't have Combat Shield just yet.
Yeah, and you know, what Theognis wants to do is kill as many SCVs as possible. The Marines are okay as well. Looks like he just picks one of them off. Gumiho doesn't want to use his... Oh, there's the big Stim. We're going to be seeing a big... Oh my gosh, does he not have enough energy? He doesn't have enough energy, so he just stimmed all of his Marines for no reason. Good 50 health there. He has to be careful for that.
Yeah, that's exactly what you want to avoid. And once again, we have the Banshee picking off Marines and retreating 5 kills already and keeping Gumiho on his toes. So he's doing a pretty good job with that one single Banshee that he has. And he might even be able to pick off a couple of additional SCVs now, as Gumiho is moving out with his Marines. Has a very nice Marine count, 19 to 12. But the Banshee is still going strong and taking on additional SCVs.
This could be absolutely critical. It looks like Gumiho is going directly into all these Marines and siege tanks. He hasn't actually stimmed yet. Dara finally goes down. Targeting on the one siege tank. He will get it down, but he loses all the Marines. What a critical blow. Now it looks like Theognis is just going to walk directly into his opponent's base, but he needs to be careful. There's a lot of production over here. Marines now with stim and combat shields that makes them be so much more powerful than just non-combat shields.
Still was a really hard blow in regards to Gumiho's army. He did lose a lot and even pulled a bunch of SCVs now in order to well, attack his opponent head on. There's the Stim trying to pick off the Marines. He has SCVs as well, and Theognis is retreating. He already lost the Banshee and now he's losing a lot of his Marines as well. He pulled SCVs, but with Stim he now is about to lose his tanks to his opponent. Gumiho is doing a really good job getting back into this.
Wow, Gumiho just completely devastated his opponent. That puts him really nicely ahead, obviously stopping that the huge one-base play that Theognis had. And now where does the advantage go to Theognis? He doesn't have anything over his opponent. His opponent has mass units. The only thing he has is siege tank and siege mode, but that really doesn't represent too much when you're cross-position Antigua Shipyard. You know, siege tanks are very positional units, which is good, don't get me wrong, but when you're in cross positions, you want space, you want that positioning. Not positioning, but you want the space. You want to free yourself up so you don't have to worry about all these different things like pushes, like drops, things like that. And right now, the army composition favors Gumiho a lot more.
Yeah, he already has the first few medivacs, so now he's even in a position where he can start dropping his opponent a little bit in order to pressure him even more. And the Theognis is down 20 supply. We have Gumiho now getting the third base. He's already building Vikings in order to dominate the skies, getting upgrades as well. He knows how far ahead he is, and he is trying to capitalize on it. He's trying to push his opponent, pressure him even a little bit further, and I have to say that Gumiho is just in a commanding lead right now.
Yeah, and this is going to probably solidify his lead right now. The Banshee is going to fly in here. It actually does not get away with its life. The two medivacs will drop, and this is going to be probably the most numbing feeling for Theognis. I mean, he's right now... Whoa. Actually lose a lot of Marines there. Kind of a mistake there for Gumiho, but still looking good. He's just going to clean up a little bit of, it looks like the starport. Interesting decision.
And he's not focusing it down just yet, so there's not another drop, but at least the medivac is trying to bait those Marines a bit. Oh, the Banshee is nearly picked off upon arriving, and the Marines of Gumiho die. I feel like he could have made a little bit of a different decision, either attack the Marines straight ahead with the support of the medivac as soon as the Theognis try to defend, or focus down the starport and just sacrifice those units. But, well, with this decision, he didn't do all that much damage. He didn't kill the starport. Yeah. His Marines got cleared out, so he could have done better. Yeah,
I think he should have realized that he had a huge lead at that point. If he scanned, he would have seen, you know, obviously a much better situation. He says, okay, it's only one siege tank. Maybe I can actually press up on that. But for now, Gumiho is just throwing units away at his opponent, and this is becoming more and more wasteful. Meanwhile, there's a Banshee in the top right-hand corner. Theognis trying to do a little bit of harass, but not going to be as successful as his opponent. 55 Harvesters to 46, so Theognis just about 9 SEVs behind. But, you know, a lot can still happen with siege tanks on the field right now, and Gumiho doesn't show any indication that he wants to mass 2 tanks. For now, I think I actually lost Khaldor right now. A couple of internet problems. Khaldor, are you back? All right, so, well then, Theognis right now, all he needs to really do is focus on getting his upgrades, then he can actually push out. He wants to take advantage of his army composition over everything else. Right now, his opponent is on just straight up bio, which is good. Don't get me wrong, especially on cross position. But, you know, how he wants to actually move forward probably, Theognis is going to have to play pretty turtly from here on out, just because not only is his infantry upgrades behind, but also he's on a composition that he doesn't really want to be on. You want Marines and Marauders for this early game stage, and then you can transition a lot easier. Cross positions, Antigua Shipyard just does not make for good siege tank type of opening. But for what he was doing, I understand he needs to do that one base aggression, he needs to keep up, because he did go to the Banshees, penalizing his opponents for and just punishing him for doing that kind of type of opening. The Reaper expand, which is a little bit risky on a map like Antigua Shipyard, I would say, especially because the Reaper doesn't really get you too much, but it is quite safe. It lets you, you know, scout out your opponent and really defend against all possible situations. But here we can see Theognis just going to give a nice little scan, see his opponent and what exactly he is doing, but it looks like a little counter drop going in the top over here, the top middle. He needs to go and deny the SEVs. Hi, Khaldor, you're back.
How Theognis is killing a lot of these SCVs. He's actually pressuring the economy of his opponent quite a bit, and I was just about to comment on how Gumiho is really far ahead in his economy. He had like a 25 lead when it came down to the harvester count. Obviously the additional mule as well, being on 3 bases helps with that, I've heard.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. You know, Gumiho is just continuing his lead, whereas it's kind of surprising. I was surprised that Theognis didn't actually continue making SEVs. He's gearing up what looks like a big 2-base aggression build, but I think this is really out of place. This is actually where Gumiho is probably the strongest, and you know, this is going to be very, very tough to do a lot of damage with, but if he can get in good position, which Gumiho is actually allowing him to do, obviously it'll be very profitable.
On the other hand, we have +2/+2 finishing now for Gumiho, while Theognis is only on +1 attack. So this is really horrible. Now all the Marines get in there in order to take down the command center. Well done by Gumiho. He's 20 supply ahead, and Theognis counterattack has to do a ton of damage now if he wants to stand a chance in this game.
Yeah, and very correct. I like that Gumiho is actually going back. He will have to sacrifice this base right here. He's going to lift off, just make the SCVs a lot safer than, well, as safe as possible. But, you know, as long as this attack gets cleaned up and with 2-2 over his opponent's 1-0, I think that's going to be accomplished very easily. He just needs to get a good flank, make sure he micros this correct, and have the tanks not do nearly as much damage as they should be doing.
Yeah, definitely. Gumiho was also able to save his 3rd base, by the way. He lost the SCVs, but the 3rd base is still going strong, and now stimming in. Gumiho trying to take down the tanks and the army of his opponent. The Marines are in a lot of trouble. The Gumiho's forces are just so much stronger, and he's even over-stimming. He doesn't have any medivacs left. He will lose all of the Marines. We have 140 supply now against 100, and Gumiho is just looking so strong right now. Back on 3 bases now, researching +3/+3 already, while Theognis is still on 1-0.
Yeah, that's the big problem. I mean, going siege tanks, the opportunity cost right now Gumiho has is the upgrades. We can see the upgrades are just so dominating. With those type of upgrades, if you have good micro, if you have good spreads, you'll be able to overcome the siege tanks every single time. The Marines don't do nearly as much damage as you need them to do. That's why, you know, Gumiho is just taking an amazing advantage this time. He's going to actually stim here. What a bold move right here. The spread is so nice, though. Theognis just overcome with way too many Marines Marauders.
The army is just so much bigger. He doubled the marine count of his opponent. He didn't have siege tanks. He's focusing completely on bio, but he is just completely annihilating every single unit of the Agnes, and now another command center dies. 73 to 150 supply, doubling the supply count. Gumiho is just now proving once again why he's such a good TVT player. So another point for FXO.
Absolutely. FXO looking on like they're on a tear, man. They are just ramming through teams like it's absolutely nothing. Gumiho slaughtering Theognis, able to defend that early game push. From there, he just, you know, that's a classic Marine Marauder medevac ball against the mass siege tanks, or, you know, a little bit of everything, that progressive type of style where you just have a lot of progress in both Marines and siege tanks, but it's not like exceptional. You see this style, you know, really being punished, I think, by Gumiho. Gumiho did a fantastic job keeping up with his upgrades, and what can Theognis actually do? He can't say, okay, well, I'm going to get my own upgrades, because then you have like a nice, sort of nice type of Marine Marauder ball, and then you have like a nerfed siege tank ball. It's like, it doesn't work out right. You might as well just go directly into all Marines and Marauders and always catch your opponent out of position. That's exactly what we saw from Gumiho's play.
Yeah, it was really well played. Actually, a really nice turn versus turn that we had, and decision making just excellent by Gumiho. Exactly. So I guess, yeah, we have FXO up 2-0 in this clan war today. Yep,
and we'll be heading into game number 3 in a little bit. So this is potential match point for FXO. Everybody stay tuned. More FXO versus Quantic coming your way after this break.